Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Baldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, with loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news that's jaw dropping. They're getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke, from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening. If you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater. You better just let it go when all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
You got a little wiener and some tiny nuts.
You always got a different one every time. That's fucking funny. Welcome to Sports on Tap. I'm Chris Scott, alongside Joe Waddell. Frank Giagata is off tonight. Frank, hope you're doing well, buddy.
Miss you, bud.
Yep.
Take care of what you got to take care of.
I even put the Notre Dame flag up just for you, buddy.
Yeah, and it's just sitting there with nobody to talk about it because we won't.
No.
So it's just there. We're just mentioning it. It's there, waiting for you to get here. But next week.
Next week. Yeah, hopefully. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yes. So, since our last broadcast, because obviously we took the last week off, some stuff has come down and kind of stuff we were waiting for. Obviously, we've talked about it quite a bit over the last few shows. Your quarterback, Deshaun Watson. The ruling finally comes down.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna say one thing, and then I'm gonna let you have the floor. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think that's the consensus right now, right? I mean, that's where the majority of people are at right now with this. And the only people, well, I don't want to say the only, mostly.
I would say the majority, yes.
The majority of the people that are on the opposite side of it, that are happy about it, the majority of those people are Cleveland Browns fans.
As evidenced by, like, his first training camp practice or whatever, when they basically give him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Now, to those people, I say get fucked.
I agree with that. I also understand how sports works.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, do I agree with it? No.
And that's
because
why I tell
I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, and I've said this. Cleveland Browns fan.
Oh, numerous, yeah.
I am still a Cleveland Browns fan. Listen, as a fan of the Cleveland Browns, does it help my team that I root for that he's only going to be out for 6 games at this point? Yes. Am I happy about it as an individual who has morals? No, I'm not at all. Not by any means. To me, it's a little disappointing because. So let's just run down the list, right? Mm-hmm. So we've got Zeke, who had 1 accusation.
Yep.
1. He was suspended for 6 games. We have Ben Roethlisberger, 2 accusations, suspended for 6 games, pled it or appealed it, and got it down to 4. Mm-hmm. Okay. We have Calvin Ridley, who gambled.
This is the one that irritates me.
Gambled
like, big time.
$1,500.
Yep.
On the league-approved, sponsored site for gambling, and got suspended for a year.
And he bet on his own team.
An entire year.
Yep.
And he bet for his own team to win. It's not like he bet him to lose.
Right.
Not like he had inside information. He bet him to win.
Right.
We have Josh Gordon, who has lost his entire career over. Now, listen, I don't smoke, but if you're going to tell me this is legit and this is warranted, you're stupid. He lost his entire career over weed. Mm-hmm. Weed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
His entire career. He's been suspended how many times? For weed.
Shit. Honestly, I lost count after the last
But
time.
you can be addicted to painkillers and still go out there and play, but you can't smoke some weed. Right?
Nope.
It's the the suspensions that have come down don't match this.
No.
And then you've got, okay, so one of the other ones that I can think of, Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Definitely.
that he was accused of trying to hide something, possibly,
Yeah.
and destroying a cell phone, and he got 4 games.
Yeah.
For destroying a cell phone. What are we doing here? What is this? Like, where are we going in society that we're okay with this guy being accused of 26, was it 26 counts?
Yeah.
I lost track.
Yeah.
26 accusations of sexual assault. And so many people want to associate this with the Robert Kraft stuff, right? No. Robert Kraft got rub and tugs and paid for him and was never accused of sexual assault.
Nope.
This guy was, everyone wants to say this guy was paying for rub and tugs. Well, he's been accused of 26 counts of sexual assault. That's not the same as Robert Kraft, guys.
And
that's nowhere near the same thing.
and settled the majority of them. Now, to me, if you're settling these, that tells me that there is a lot of fire where all that smoke is. That a lot more shit went down. But
So please read what you read to me before
Oh, yeah.
the show about the NFL only presented 5 cases
Yes.
in their argument
So-
with Sue L. Robinson.
all right, so the big takeaways from her ruling is Watson committed sexual assault against the 4 massage therapists included in the NFL's investigation.
So she says
He did this.
she basically this judge
Said he did
said
this.
he did it
Yes. Against at least 4 of them.
out of the 5 cases because the NFL only presented 5
Right.
cases.
So he, according to her, and all the evidence she looked at, he at least 4.
So
I don't care if it's 1. I
Right.
don't care if it's 4.
So sexual assault against 4 women.
Yep.
This is a judge, mind you, who was a third party, who the NFL brought this policy on because they had been blasted so many times for their rulings on suspensions, right? So the NFL created this policy to have a third party judge oversee suspension cases. This judge says he committed sexual assault with 4 women. That's her determination. And because of that, he only has to miss 6 games.
Yep.
And basically, with that being said, he's fined $333,000.
Yes.
That's it. Because the Cleveland Browns, fucking unbelievable, negotiated his contract to where he only makes $1 million in his first year.
Yes.
So when you take away those 6 games, he's only missing out on $333,000.
I mean, it's smart on the Browns' part.
It's smart. It's smart on Deshaun's part.
Yeah.
The Browns could have saved a bunch of money.
But if you're really thinking about $333,000, like $1 million for the first year when they knew he was going to get suspended.
Yeah, but that's if they'd have paid him the majority of his money in the first year and he got suspended, they could have saved all that money. They could have backloaded his contract and fucked him over, but they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have.
They-
I'm sorry,
they-
they could have.
they- I guess they kinda did
They could
backload
have.
him.
Well, they did back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they could have front loaded his
Right,
contract and fucked him up, but they didn't. They did him a favor because they knew he was going to miss some games in the first year.
Yep. So also, she ruled that Watson's conduct posed a genuine danger to the safety and well-being of another person. No shit. Like,
And yet, it's only worth 6 games.
yep. But
So-
gambling on your own team,
Yeah.
on a league sponsored website or a gambling site that sponsors the NFL, you get a year. Okay, make it make sense, man.
It doesn't. It to me, this is. I mean, I'm honestly kind of disgusted by this because this is the first I'm hearing of what she actually said about the sexual assault cases. So the NFL didn't present 24 cases, 26 cases,
Nope.
20 cases. They presented 5. They presented 5 of the most solid cases they had after their investigation. She determined in 4 of those cases he did sexually assault the women, and yet he gets a 6-game suspension. It's disgusting to me.
3.
As a Cleveland Brown fan, it's fucking disgusting to me.
3. Watson's behavior undermined the NFL's integrity. No shit. Again,
Really?
No shit.
Really? That's a shock.
Yeah, right. They're kind of comparing it to Deflategate, like you just talked about, like ruining the NFL's integrity.
Well, see, and that's what kills me about the Calvin Ridley one.
No.
That is purely just a tarnishing the shield. That's all that is.
Oh, yeah.
Because the NFL can't have people walking around thinking that their games are fixed. And if they have players gambling on games, that could be the perception. So the only reason they're being so hard on Calvin Ridley is because he tarnished the shield and he brought doubt upon the shield.
Right.
That's it. He didn't harm anybody. He didn't hurt anybody.
Nope.
He didn't put anybody in harm's way. He didn't touch anybody. He didn't sexually assault anybody. He didn't cause anybody bodily harm or internal mental harm. He bet on games. $1,500. Now, Deshaun Watson, according to this judge, caused mental and physical pain and anguish to 4 women, 4 human beings, and he gets 6 games.
Which brings me to number 4, which honestly, this is the one I'm actually really fucking irritated about. This is nevertheless, Watson's behavior was not considered violent conduct. So how does that? So that makes it better?
So because he didn't beat them while he sexually assaulted them, that's okay?
Yeah. Like
So because
if he beat him, would you give him 8 games?
right? like what are we doing here, man? What the fuck are we doing?
So these are kind of like the 4 big takeaways from her ruling. And after the ruling came down, I immediately thought to myself, and I even posted it in our group text, I'm like, there is no fucking way the NFL doesn't appeal this.
So it's going to be...
The NFL wants... They wanted a whole season.
They did. So...
And I think Goodell's going to push for the whole season if they appeal it.
See,
No, I'm not saying if they appeal it, when they appeal it.
To me, I don't think it's cut and dry they're going to appeal it, and I'll tell you why. Do I think they should appeal it? Yes. Do I think they should up it? Yes. When it comes down to it, they have 3 days from that ruling, and technically they can actually push for more time. So it's not really just 3 days. But the NFL and the NFLPA came up with this way of arbitration for cases like this. How would it look for the first ever case where you had the arbitrator, the judge, make a ruling? How would it look for the NFL to then go against what they put in place to make said ruling? It's going to be difficult. And if it was 8 games, I think we're not even talking about an appeal because the NFL would have let it go at 8 games. I truly believe that. I think at 6, there is a chance they do appeal it. And I agree with you.
I think they absolutely will.
And the funny thing is, to me, I say funny in a weird way because it's not really funny, but the Deshaun Watson camp and Deshaun Watson, they should see this as a win, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Sadly.
Oh, they're still pissed. They're pissed about the 6 games.
But they're mad he got 6 games. And I'm thinking to myself, how the fuck are you mad? The dude should have gotten a season. I always forget the guy's name in baseball, in Major League Baseball. In the MLB. Who got suspended?
Okay, there's a lot of guys that got suspended.
He got suspended for 2 years for sexual assault.
Oh God.
What was it just happened.
Trevor Bauer.
Trevor Bauer. 2 years.
Yep.
For 1 case of sexual assault.
And this is why I believe the NFL will appeal this.
And if
because I don't think they want to get upstaged by the MLB.
By the MLB. So I believe they're gonna truly think about it. It's what's gonna determine whether the NFL appeals this or not is if they have the backing of the public,
which I think they do.
I think they do too. They don't want to look bad in the public's eye.
Nope.
So when it comes down to it, if the majority of the public push for and say this is weak, he deserves more, the NFL will then appeal because they would feel like they're not going to be looked at badly for appealing this. Now, if they would be looked at badly for this, they would not appeal it at all.
No, I agree with you.
Wouldn't even happen.
No, but just looking on social media, since the ruling came down, the NFL does not look good in this.
So, and
without appealing, there's a big public outcry for. Are you fucking kidding me?
And I want to say something to Cleveland Browns fans. as a Cleveland Browns fan. Stop with the whole narrative of the only reason he's getting suspended or getting punished is because he's a Cleveland Brown. Listen, the Cleveland Browns chose to take on a guy with 24 civil suits, 24 accusations of sexual assault. Not to mention, guys have been suspended historically without being proven guilty in court. Zeke, Ben Roethlisberger.
But being as the NFL is its own entity.
It is.
It doesn't matter what happens.
It doesn't.
It makes
at
no
all.
fucking difference at all.
But right now, Cleveland Browns fans can't see past their own nose to really objectively look at this. And they're crying out, "Oh, he only got suspended because he's a Cleveland Brown. This is the league against the Cleveland Browns again." Shut the fuck up. This is not, because in all honesty, he got off light.
Oh yeah.
And this would be happening whether he was on the Browns, the Texans, or the Lions, or New England.
Well, I mean, everybody knows the league has a vendetta against the Lions.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if he was with the Lions, he would have gotten a season.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Oh, for sure. But the other thing in this is, so many people are saying, well, he already got suspended for a year last year, so it's actually a year and 6 games. No. Time out. Back up the fucking truck on that one too, because he sat out last year. He got paid the entire year. He wasn't suspended. The team he played for and him came to a mutual agreement he would not play, but he got paid. He was on a paid vacation last year. So that doesn't count as a suspension. It just counts as him not playing football for a year and getting paid for it. So don't tell me he already served a year. Go fuck yourself on that one too.
And what's awesome about this is like looking at the Browns' schedule with him gone his 6 games.
Yep.
The Cleveland Browns have the easiest schedule of the first 6 games of any team in the NFL.
It's
ranked. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's the easiest.
So I mean, they have Carolina first week. They have the Jets second week.
Yeah.
I know Atlanta's in there.
Yeah.
They also have
They have the
Pittsburgh.
Patriots. They have the Patriots.
The Patriots, Pittsburgh. I'm trying to think of the sixth team.
But judging by strength of schedule,
right,
they have the easiest first 6 weeks of any team in the NFL.
Well, I mean, look at 3 of those games. Carolina,
Right.
probably going to be a fucking a dumpster fire.
Oh, God. It's gonna
But I mean, listen, that first game is going to be difficult though. They're going to have Jacoby Brissett or whoever the fuck they're playing at quarterback, and then Baker Mayfield coming back for a
Revenge
vengeance.
tour, baby.
So then you got the Jets,
Yeah.
dumpster fire. You got the Falcons, dumpster fire.
I mean, the
You
Jets got the Cougar Hunter, man.
That doesn't translate to wins.
Could.
Only in his bedroom.
Fair.
Unless that game's being played in his bedroom,
Right.
it's not a win for the Jets. No, I mean right now as this sits, the Browns got lucky.
Oh yeah,
Now, this still has a little bit to play out.
it does. It's not over by any
It's
means.
not over.
I mean, shit. Look how long Deflategate dragged out.
Well, and if the NFL, so basically the way I understand it, Goodell could come in and say, nope, that's not good enough. I'm handing down a suspension.
I think it's exactly what he's going to do.
And then it will then be appealed by Deshaun Watson,
Right.
which means
He can
the
play.
Browns could get even luckier with the fact that he would play probably the entire fucking season
Right.
because it would get pushed off until next year.
Unless they fast track it, which they can,
Which
I think they will, because they don't want this going on the entire season.
Deshaun Watson and his team will find a way to get it.
I'm sure that but you're going to take Deshaun Watson's team against the NFL?
I mean,
I don't know, man.
There's ways to get it postponed. There's
I get
ways
it.
to get it pushed out. I mean, legality ways they could. Truthfully, there is a way. If Goodell suspends him for longer and Deshaun Watson appeals it, Deshaun Watson could technically, in many ways, I see this playing out. He could play the whole season,
He could.
and,
Like-
which in turn would kind of be bad for him because if he gets suspended for next year, there's a big chunk of that money on the table next year.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could. Now, I know it's all guaranteed money, but is there a morals clause to where they can just terminate said contract?
I believe there is. There's a way for them to terminate this. They won't. They won't. The Browns are sold. They won't terminate the contract.
Right.
But the way they worked it for him is this first year there wasn't a lot involved in it because they figured he would be suspended.
Yeah.
They didn't want him to lose out on a lot of money. If he gets suspended next year, no, they could still rework his contract.
Yeah.
They could fuck things around like that.
I mean,
but
it's still going to be a big cap hit. I don't care how much they work it.
Right. It will be. And but the Browns will save the money though because if he's suspended, they don't owe him that money. They get to keep that money for whatever games he's suspended for.
Right.
So, yeah, this is a real shit show.
Oh, it absolutely is.
It's ridiculous.
But like I said, the NFL, because like I said, I believe 100% they are going to appeal this, and they're going to push for at least a season, because they don't want this shit going around to every city the Browns go to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is going to be a thing. The NFL doesn't want that, because that's just a stain on the shield every week. You're going to hear every week he plays after this original 6 games. That's all you're going to hear. Like wherever the Browns are at, that's all they're going to hear.
Well,
you're going to see protests outside stadiums. It's just,
and
the NFL doesn't want that.
I find it, after hearing what you had to say about her ruling, I don't understand how the fuck that ruling could have come down.
I honestly don't either.
You literally admitted.
Yeah.
And put in there that you rule he did as a judge. You ruled that he sexually assaulted 4 of the 5 women that were presented in front of you.
Yeah.
And still only gave him 6 games. How? I don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
Oh yeah,
I don't at all.
It doesn't make any sense. This whole situation is just, it's been a shit show for the past year and a half or so, give or take. And I'm glad we finally got the ruling and to kind of see, where everybody's at on this. And it's honestly, I think everybody's at where I thought they would be with it.
Yeah.
But yes, it absolutely has to be, and I think it will end up being more. Honestly, I think it'll be. You said 8 games. You think it'll be?
No. I think if the NFL appeals it, and so if it was 8 games, they wouldn't have. I don't think they would.
I think if it was originally 10, I don't think they would have.
See, and I'm just 2 games away from you.
That's
I think
fair,
if it was 8, the NFL would have decided it was good enough. Not what they wanted. I think they would have decided it was.
It's almost half the season.
Right. I think they would have decided it was enough for them to not look weak, and for the system they put in place to look like it kind of worked.
Right.
At this point, I think the NFL is catching so much outrage from the majority of people that they're going to look at it and say,
but this ruling isn't on the NFL.
It's not.
This is an independent.
It's not. But they also look at it as it's the system they put in place that has failed at this point.
Oh, absolutely it has. And that's why I think they will absolutely appeal, because they, like we just talked about, they don't want that blowback that they're already getting.
Yeah.
It's not going to get any better.
No.
So they're gonna get even more blowback. So this is why I 1,000% believe the NFL and Roger Goodell will push for an appeal. I think they will. I think he's going to end up at anywhere between 10 and 12 games.
I think the NFL would settle with anywhere between 8 and 12.
Okay.
I think they would settle with anything above 8 or above. I think they would be comfortable. Well, not comfortable. I think they would just settle with it and be okay with it.
Yeah.
Anything over 8 or more. At 6, I think they will. I think they will appeal. I think Roger Goodell will basically step in and say, no, we're not going with your ruling, and we're going to go with what I say. And
especially when you literally admitted in the said document, in your investigation, in your ruling, that he did it at least 4 times.
Right.
Like, come on.
So again, let's lay this out for you. We're not gonna keep the whole show on this, but let's lay this out for you. The judge said he sexually assaulted 4 women out of the 5 cases. Ben Roethlisberger was accused of 2 sexual assaults by 2 different women. 6-game suspension. Zeke accused of sexual assault by 1 woman, and he served 6 games. So 1 woman, 2 women, 4 women, all the same suspension?
Yeah.
So basically, you could, like, as long as
Henry Rice basically got booted out of the league.
Right. Listen.
I mean, he beat the shit out of a woman. He
did. He knocked the shit out of that woman. his girlfriend, his wife or whatever, girlfriend, who also forgave him and went back to him, and I think they're still together. But that's a whole nother thing. It's just appalling as well.
Right.
But he was booted from the league. Basically, he was blackballed.
I think he got didn't he like originally get 6 games for that?
He originally got 2 games,
Oh shit! Well, there you go.
and then the video came out.
yeah, then he got
And
sick.
the NFL
They get
no
6
then
or
he,
8.
then he got the full season, I believe.
Is that right?
So it was 2 games, and then the video came out, and the NFL went, "Hey,
Yeah.
ooh." So about those 2 games,
Sorry.
we're gonna raise you about 15 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. But again, that was one where the NFL just didn't know how to react to something.
They didn't, but you look at that, and which is obviously horrible, and then you look at what Deshaun did, which is obviously horrible. And now, how do you what's your discrepancy? What's your line between which one's worse? Like one, yeah, you literally you physically harmed somebody, you punched them, you kicked them, whatever, and then with Deshaun, like you basically you sexually assaulted him. You did. Like, how do you determine which one's worse?
Right.
Granted,
and-
I think they're both fucking horrible, and they both should have been suspended the exact same way. Like, I don't see why there's a discrepancy between them.
See, I think physically, no matter what, violence, physically assaulting somebody violently or sexually assaulting somebody, to me, are on the same level.
Right.
Right? They're both physical torture, physical. It's physicality against somebody, but it's also the mental aspect
absolutely.
of the victims at that point.
Right.
And to me, the it's case by case, and what Ray Rice did was appalling.
Oh, yeah.
It was. But when you look at Deshaun has basically this plays out as a history of predatory behavior, and it's case after case after case of kind of the same stories of his predatory behavior towards these masseuses that, listen, why do you need to go see fucking 70 masseuses within an 18-month span? Like, what are you, why? Because you're,
And that's another thing about this ruling. Now they put in that he can only go to team-approved masseuses. Why would you put that in?
Right.
For what?
so, and what, tell me what Deshaun Watson said again about he's
Oh, he's sorry. He's making amends. He's basically what people do. Like they're come to Jesus moment.
Oh, okay.
Bullshit.
okay, so you're making amends and you're
He's taking
You're
he's taking all the right steps
Right.
to.
and what was wasn't there he's remorseful or something?
Yeah, he's remorseful.
So
I've never heard him say one time that he was sorry
I've
because he
never-
always I didn't do this.
Right.
I didn't do this.
So, with that being said, he's remorseful for what? He says he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
What's he remorseful for?
Yeah.
He said he didn't do anything.
Right.
So if you don't do anything, if you didn't do anything, if you didn't harm anybody, if you didn't sexually assault anybody, why would you say you're remorseful? I can tell you what, if I was accused of a crime and I didn't do it, I wouldn't say I was remorseful for it.
Oh hell no.
Why would I be remorseful?
Right.
I didn't fucking do it.
Right. No, it's a shitty situation, and I again, this is obviously going to play out for who knows months ahead, whatever.
I can't wait until like this. I think this will be. It'll get mentioned as things happen with this case, but I think this will be the last time we talk for it at length because I just want to concentrate. I want to talk about football.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because hey, we got football this week.
We do.
Yes, the Hall of Fame game.
2 days from now, we have
Yes.
football.
Yes, we do.
It's 2 of Frank's teams too, by the way.
It is. Oh, good lord.
I am kind of looking forward to seeing a little bit of a glimpse. Although it's the first game, we probably won't see him. But I'm looking forward to seeing the Raiders this year.
I am too.
I think the Raiders will be fun to watch this year.
On the Twitter.com, one of our followers, they put out there like who's your legitimate dark horse pick to win the Super Bowl? That's who I picked. I picked the Raiders. I mean, because I think their offense, granted health wise, and if Derek Carr doesn't do Derek Carr things, I think there's going to be a really, really, really good offense. And I think they're going to put up a lot of points.
I agree with you.
And they don't have John Gruden just kind of holding them back, keeping the reins on them. And I think their defense will be good enough that it can get a stop when needed, not just go score for score with whomever they're playing.
Right.
Granted, yeah, that's going to be a bitch of a division to get out of.
I'll be honest with you. I think the division winner it's going to be a war of attrition. Like there's the division winner might be right around 500.
I think the division winner gets bounced in the first round of the playoffs.
Well,
or they're whatever round they play in.
But I mean, I don't think the winner of that division is going to have like an outstanding record.
No, I don't either.
Because I think they're going to beat up on each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think the winner of that division could basically be a 500 club. Now, it's not going to be 500 because they play an extra game now since last year. But they're not going to have one of the best records in the league.
Right.
I think they're going to beat up on each other, and it's going to be a war of attrition in that division.
But I'm kind of glad you brought up, especially speaking of the AFC West, kind of what Patrick Mahomes said. It might have been last week that he said it, but I'm not a huge fan of Mahomes,
Right.
and that's mainly because of his brother, because his brother and his wife or baby mom, whatever she is, are idiots.
Yep.
Anyways, he got asked about Kyler Murray and this studying clause that they put in his contract, which Arizona, how did you let that leak? Like, come on.
That we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah,
But yeah.
But how did you let that leak? So they asked him about it.
They leaked it.
Of course they did. But it's like, come on, man. Like, your situation was already like sour. You gave him a huge contract, then you leaked that. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But yes, we'll get into that in a second. So he was asked about it. Patrick Mahomes was asked about it, and I actually liked his response. He goes, "Why is it that, like, myself, Kyler, and Lamar are significantly more questioned than a white quarterback?" And I thought about it for a second. I go, you know what? I think he's got a legitimate beef there.
Yes and no. So you look at Kyler and his first few years.
Right.
I think it's legit to question him.
I'm not saying it's not legit to question him.
Yeah.
I'm saying I think they get questioned more.
And I would tend to agree with that.
That's what I think that's what he was saying.
But with Kyler, it's deserved.
Right.
In my opinion, Kyler is deserved to question him because, I mean, you look at that playoff game. That dude came out looking like he wasn't prepared at all.
No.
Looked like he didn't give a shit. And then everything he has said and done over the last year, that's going to bring on some questions, man.
Right.
And Lamar, I don't think Lamar's work ethic is ever questioned. I don't think it's his.
No, have you seen him this year?
No.
That dude is jacked this year.
So with Lamar, it's more like he's an athletic specimen, but not necessarily a quarterback. And it's warranted at this point. Every year so far, everyone's been like, Lamar's going to take that next step throwing wise. He's going to take that next step with his arm, and he hasn't.
Right.
Lamar is one of the most athletically gifted
Yeah.
athletes on the football field I've ever seen.
Right.
And he's fun to watch. But is he the best quarterback? Is he a great quarterback?
He's not a great quarterback.
Is he
a good quarterback?
good
Yes.
quarterback?
I mean, you don't win an MVP without being
Right.
a good quarterback. You just don't.
And I would agree with you there. I was one of the bigger backers of him that year.
Yeah.
Like the guy did amazing things that year,
Right.
but he hasn't progressed since then.
No, I agree.
And he's actually taken a couple steps back in a way.
Like I said, I don't think the criticism isn't warranted, but I do believe, and this is just me, that I think
Well, it's not just you. There's plenty of people that think
fair.
like you.
I do believe there is a bit of an excess of that with.
But you know what's funny? Who doesn't get questioned like that? Who's a black quarterback? Russell Wilson.
Which is weird.
He's never been questioned.
That dude
Ever.
And honestly, my thoughts on Russell Wilson.
He's a little goofy.
That dude's a dork. Like flat out, that dude's a dork.
Yeah, he's a little
Like
goofy.
honestly, who shows up to training camp in your own
jersey?
What is wrong with you?
Come
on, man.
That was funny.
Like, come on, dude. Like, what's going on here? But he doesn't. You know why? You know why?
Why?
Because he acts like a white guy.
You know what? You're not far off there. He is pretty.
He's like Urkel, dude.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like,
No, you're kind of right there.
and if people want to say that's bullshit, call it bullshit. That's fine. Call it what you want.
Yeah, no, I mean you can't though, because thinking about it, he really is kind of Urkelish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean in a way, so is Patrick Mahomes.
Right. Which, like I said, I do.
See, the funny thing is Patrick coming out and saying that is funny to me because Kyler has been questioned.
I think
Lamar has been questioned. Mahomes has never been questioned.
I think he has gotten questioned more in the past season or so.
Well,
And I
okay.
think that's more due to his family.
Right. So your family draws criticism,
Oh, yeah.
right?
And that leads to you.
But you're not being criticized now. Now you've been criticized a little bit for your play last year. Your play,
And
some
you
of your-
should be.
Some of your play last year was questionable,
Yeah.
bro. I'm just saying
It was.
But when it comes down to him, from the jump, people were all over him as far as he's great. He's I was one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Before he even stepped foot on the field, when he was drafted, I told everybody he's going to be great. This kid's he's gonna come out for KC and be great. And everyone's like, dude, I know they drafted him in the first round, but come on, man.
Right.
Then that next year when he actually got the starting job from Alex Smith, what happened? 50-some touchdowns. The guy looked all world.
Yep.
Right? I've been one of his biggest supporters. Not so much anymore because some of his play on the field is questionable. He tries too hard sometimes. You got to take what's given to you at times instead of trying to make the big play all the time, right?
And like once defenses figure you out, which I think they've gotten to the point. I don't think they've completely figured it out.
No.
But I think they've gotten to the point where, dude, you got to make more than one read.
You got to make more than one read, and you got to do more than just run around like
Yeah.
a chicken with your head cut off trying to find an open guy.
Right.
And believe me, this year it's going to be a lot harder because you don't have Tyreek back there to just throw a
He's
jump
down there
ball to.
somewhere.
Right. Like you can't just blindly throw it down to Tyreek. You got a couple of fast guys in your team still. You got McCole Hardman, who hasn't actually progressed. He's fast, but he hasn't progressed as a wide receiver.
Right.
You got Sky Moore, who you just drafted this year. But those aren't proven players. Those aren't Tyreek Hill.
Right.
Like, you can't just blindly throw it up now to Tyreek and hope he gets open and catches it. So you're going to have to prove again that your quarterbacking abilities
Right.
are what have brought you this far.
And speaking of Tyreek, that dude done lost his mind talking about Tua. Holy shit! Hey, come on, dude.
What do you say now?
I just with he's the most accurate quarterback I've ever played with, and this that, and the other thing. It's like, all right, man, calm down. Like you won a Super Bowl with Mahomes. Calm down.
Right.
Like, be like,
Let's reel
let
it
the
in
season
notch.
play out, and then go from there.
Yeah.
And shit. Speaking of the Dolphins,
They just got
Yeah.
they just basically got smacked in the face.
they did. So they lost their first round pick. Was it next year?
2023 first round
they
pick.
lost
and
their first round and their third round.
No, third round in 2024.
All right, third round in 2024, and their owner got suspended until like October.
Yep, and he got fined $1.5 million.
Yes, for tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton, because they wanted Brady to have an ownership stake in the Dolphins.
Well, and wasn't part of it also the losing aspect? They were tanking as well.
Yes.
Like I think it was all accumulated
Right.
together in one fine and,
Right.
and whatever.
And he says like the $100,000 comp, like I'll give you $100,000 to like lose or
Right.
whatever. Well, he said, "Oh, we were just kidding." Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Were you?
Like we're not stupid. Like come on.
Come on.
Like, so yeah, they got smacked around a little bit, which all right, I get it, and deservedly so.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know
Absolutely.
in the NFL,
I was
in the NFL, draft picks are gold.
I was a little surprised at the first rounder.
I'm not,
So
because like you just said, it was accumulative of like,
Right.
the tanking thing. But isn't that the integrity of the game?
it is. So, but for me, those first rounders, you very rarely see a first rounder gone. I thought they would take a second, maybe a compensatory pick, taking a first and a third. That's the NFL again saying the shield is untouchable.
And going back to Deshaun.
you do not tarnish the shield.
That's why going back to Deshaun. That's why another reason why I think they will absolutely appeal this.
Yep.
But I know, man. Football season's back.
It's back.
Isn't it great?
I'll be honest with you. I'm really looking forward to it. I know. So I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the shows as well. I was a little wore down last year after the football season.
You were, because you were running like 8 fantasy leagues.
I was in quite a few fantasy leagues. I was just by the end of last year. I was I was footballed out, man.
Yeah.
And for me, that's tough to get.
That is tough to get because you are like.
Well, we were doing a show every Tuesday. We were doing a show mostly every Sunday.
Yep.
I'm running a pretty large fantasy league that takes a lot of my time. I was in 6 other ones. I was definitely beat up last year, and I wasn't even sure I was going to look forward to this year. But now that it's here, yeah, I'm gonna, like I told you guys, I'm gonna reel it in a notch fantasy football wise because that takes its toll on you.
Yeah.
It's a lot. There's a lot to do there, and so I'm gonna reel it in a notch there. But I'm pretty excited, and actually I'm gonna watch some Hard Knocks too because
I'm curious to see how that goes.
I really am intrigued to see how Hard Knocks goes. I want to see the back alley abortion that is Dan Campbell on full display.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's going to be great television.
That dude is literally the cross between an 80s wrestler and, I mean, he is just, ooh, brother, what we're going to do now? Ooh, yeah.
Bite some kneecaps, bro.
Ooh, we're going to bite some kneecaps, brother. Ooh, yeah. We got some great players over here. Ooh, yeah. What you going to do, brother, when the lions and these 24-inch pythons run wild on you? Fucking idiot. God, I can't stand that guy. Anyway.
You know who's running wild on the housing market?
I'm going to go with Jason Stiltner
You
from
know
Flagstar Bank.
You know that's right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, a senior loan officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So back to Kyler because we kind of got off that a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, he did his little whining, moaning thing last year. He was going back and forth with the Cardinals and whatnot. So he finally gets his deal, and then it leaks out. And we're fairly certain that the Cardinals absolutely leaked this out to embarrass him or whatever.
The Cardinals leaked it out.
And they basically put in a quote-unquote study clause that he has to study like 4 hours a week independently.
4 hours of independent study.
So basically he's going to play Madden for 4 hours.
Right, like what is he, in high school?
Right. And it kind of came to light. I don't know how true this is, but
so in the
that
clause,
he doesn't watch film at all.
So in the clause, well, and he has said this.
He's like, I just feel it.
In his own words, he just has said, I'm not one of those guys that sits down and analyzes film and watches film. I use my athletic ability and I just feel the plays and I just am able to, okay, that's okay. I get what you're saying there, but you're also saying you don't study the game, which the great quarterbacks, no matter who they were, whether they're black or white or green or brown, whatever.
Right.
The truly good quarterbacks have studied the game.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Warren Moon, one of the most talented black quarterbacks I've ever seen that just didn't win a Super Bowl, was a student of the game.
Yeah.
Randall Cunningham was a student of the game. These guys, all good quarterbacks, have been students of the game. They watch film. They analyze film. They analyze plays. And you as a quarterback, you're the leader of the team.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of have to set that tone. And if you're saying you don't study the game, that's basically giving the rest of your teammates an out to not have to watch film and not study and just go out there and play. And this isn't backyard football, guys. This is the NFL.
I mean, you can be as talented as you want, and that's great. And that'll get you to a certain level where you're good, and, you'll do it. But it's not going to make you great.
Kyler is very talented.
You're not going to win a Super Bowl that way.
No. Kyler is very talented athletically. He needs to mature and grow up, same as Baker Mayfield does. Now, both those, one's black, one's white. I'm going to say the same thing about both of them.
Yeah.
They both need to mature. Now, Kyler Murray's more athletically gifted than Baker Mayfield.
Oh, he absolutely is.
But maturity-wise,
You don't get drafted in
they're
baseball
both on the
and
same
football.
level. But what I can say about Baker is, at least he studies the game. He watches film. He tries to get better at that, to help with the fact that he's not as athletically gifted as a guy like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray just relies on the fact he's an athlete. But both those guys need to mature. If you're going to be the leader of a team, which is what a quarterback is,
Last I checked.
you have to mature.
Yes.
You have to be a mature adult and go about things the right way.
Yeah.
And one of the funny things about that clause is, did you hear that
They took it out.
Well, they took it out, but
Yeah.
in the clause originally it said 4 hours of independent study,
So playing-
something along that line.
so playing Madden.
And it also said which does not include playing video games or like it was like a couple things that it said does not include.
Yeah.
So basically, you have to study, and it doesn't include the time that you're watching TV or playing video games. Really? That we got to put that into a contract? Listen, you're giving this guy $200 and some million.
These QB contracts are.
If you're giving him $200 some million to be your quarterback of the future, why do you have to put in there a clause that he has to, one, watch video on his own, and two, it doesn't include times where he's playing video games like, Modern Warfare or something like that?
Yeah.
What are we doing? If you got to put that in a clause of a contract, he's probably not the guy you want to give $230 million to. Or $200 million, however much you gave him.
I wouldn't think so.
It's fucking nuts to me.
That is crazy. Now, speaking of like large contracts, I'm gonna switch gears here and kind of go to the MLB trade deadline.
The MLB?
The MLB, right? Yes. The trade deadline was today, and honestly, this was a big trade deadline. There's a lot of stuff that went down today. And
You're going to have to fill me in on that one because I didn't see a lot of it.
Yeah, I got a whole tracker here of like what went down and whatnot. So I think the big winners in this, and I love this, and I actually posted it on the Twitter.com earlier, is the San Diego Padres. They just had the hell with it. We're going for it.
They went in.
And I loved when Mike Ilitch did that with the Tigers, and now we got to watch his son just decimate this franchise, which is great. Fantastic, nice job, fuckface. How does Alavila still have a job? Don't know.
You're a loser.
There you go. Especially after this deadline, you traded Robbie Grossman and you traded Michael Fulmer. That's it. That's what you did.
But see, and this is where I'll chime in here, and I'm gonna kind of let you do the baseball talk here because you're way more of a baseball guy than I am. But I'm kind of happy that Alavila didn't do anything more than that. You know why? Because I don't want him to fuck anything up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, I'm really hoping that he's gone by the beginning of next season.
Right.
And I'm glad he didn't try and make any splashes because he'd have fucked it up.
It's hard to disagree with that, honestly. It really is. So, like I said, the Padres, they went all in. And granted, they're not going to catch the Dodgers in the division. The Dodgers have too big of a lead.
Right.
But I think with the acquisitions they made today and getting Juan Soto and Josh Bell, I actually love that move that they got him in this deal. And then
he was kind of a throw-in in the deal, and that's a hell of a move.
Well, you just replaced your first baseman.
Yeah.
That you traded Eric Hosmer to. Originally, you traded him to Washington, and Hosmer said, no, I'm not going there. So then they ended up trading him to Boston. And then you got Josh Hader from the Brewers, I believe, yesterday, which he was a great closer for a few years. He's kind of on a decline a little bit, but I still think I think he could be effective with the Padres. So I think I love what the Padres did. I like what the Blue Jays did. They got the pitching that they needed. They last minute they got Whit Merrifield from Kansas City. So he can't be a Tiger killer anymore. Dude, that guy rakes against the Tigers. So
I feel like there's always a couple guys that just destroy the Tigers. Just Tiger killers.
There is. It's you got to go back and think about it, but they're like Nelson Cruz was one of those guys.
Yep.
Like just raked against the Tigers. Jim Thome was one of those guys.
Yep.
Like I said, Whit Merrifield, definitely one of those guys. And if you think about it more and more, there are more that'll come to mind, and you're just like, damn, man, that guy just always hit against the Tigers.
Yep.
Always. So, like, obviously the Dodgers and Yankees, they didn't make big splashes, but they got better. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the Dodgers did get better. Because, frankly, you acquired Joey Gallo, who I think has more strikeouts this year than Tony Gwynn had in his entire career, which tells you something. That guy swings and misses at a lot of pitches. I mean, you can strike out just as much on the West Coast as you can the East Coast. To me, that move didn't make much sense, unless you're just doing it for depth. And in that case, you gave up way too much to get him. They gave him the 15th overrated rated prospect in their organization.
Right.
And I'm like, well, it seems a bit much to me for a guy that strikes out 8,000 times a year. Just me. But other than that, I mean, there's obviously some other, like, not minor moves, but those were kind of like the bigger ones that they kind of took place over the past couple days. But it was definitely an active, very active trade deadline. And I love the fact that Frank's team, the Sox, they got Tommy Pham.
The Sox?
I fucking love that.
The Sox?
The Sox got Tommy Pham. That's great. You bitched about Fantasy Football League.
Oh, is it really?
Yes. God, I love that. That's great. Frankie, you gonna get a Tommy Pham jersey now, buddy? But like I said, this trade deadline to me was more active and a lot like bigger from a player standpoint. So we knew Juan Soto was gonna get traded. It was a matter of where. And honestly, I thought the Dodgers were gonna get him in the end because that's just what the Dodgers do.
Right.
But to see him go, to see the Padres and say, "The hell with it, man. We're going. Let's do it." Love that, and I miss those days when it lets you just go get David. You want to go get David Price? Go get David Price. You want to go get Max Scherzer? Go get Max Scherzer. And he did it, and it was amazing. You want to go get Prince Fielder? Fuck it, do it. And that's kind of what it reminds me of what the Padres did today.
Right.
I love that, and frankly, until the guy who currently owns the team is not there anymore, I don't foresee that happening anytime soon, and that's sad.
No, you're right.
That's sad.
it. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening at all. They're in that muddling area
Yeah, it's bad.
that the Wings were in for a while.
Yeah,
You know, but at least the Wings were competing to make the playoffs,
Yeah.
right? And they keep that playoff streak alive where they were in the
Jesus.
muddling middle of that bullshit. Whereas you look at it now, and it's the Tigers are in that muddling area of rebuilding, but not rebuilding, but saying they're done rebuilding, but still having to rebuild.
and I think it's easier. It was easier for the Red Wings to get out of that because of the salary cap
Right,
than it will be for the Tigers because you see Chris Ilitch, he doesn't want to spend money. He just doesn't.
right.
Well, at least on his baseball team anyway. But in the NHL, it's kind of capped or controlled at what you can spend.
Right.
So, until that dude doesn't own the team, I don't foresee the Tigers being relevant for, as long as he owns the team. Now, you want to know who is relevant?
Who?
The Joe Wright Group.
The Joe Wright Group.
There you go.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 4 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, Shane Wilson, and Alex DeRocher a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
Hit it.
Oh, my bad. I already went past it.
Damn it.
I gotta find it on here. There we go. Oh,
Oh, come on, man. There you go. There it is.
you know what I did? I turned down
I noticed that,
this
yeah.
volume because we're getting that crackling again.
Yeah, we got to figure out what that is.
It's odd. So it goes away when I turn down the MP3 volume, but it's not there all the time. So it's somehow coming through the computer. There's something in power around here that is all of a sudden at some point causing that to happen. It's odd.
I don't know.
We're gonna have to figure out what it is. I
Yeah,
don't know.
we'll figure it out.
We might have to have when we do the remodel down here. We
Yeah.
might have to have a designated outlet just for
Oh, yeah.
like a separate outlet, not attached to anything because
Right.
it might be causing static from somewhere because it doesn't happen all the time.
It doesn't.
It just comes and goes.
It's weird, man.
It is weird, very weird.
What else do you want to hit on?
That's a good question.
All right, then.
I don't know. Did you want to hit on a little bit of football talk?
Oh, absolutely. It's we got the season coming up here pretty soon.
So training camps have started.
Yes.
And there's always the reports coming out about who's looking good and who's looking bad and who needs to pick it up. And of course, out of Lions camp, there's the Penei Sewell domination.
Of course.
People talking about how he's He's dominating in training
Oh,
camp.
I heard
and-
about Hutchinson too.
Oh, and he basically trucked Hutch and pancaked him, whatever. And there's so you remember last year, Jamar Chase, right? Everyone was talking about how he had the drops in
Oh, yeah.
camp, right? Oh,
Yeah, I do remember that.
He was dropping so many. Oh yeah,
Idiots.
Oh, yeah. And guess what?
You
He
did.
went out there and was fucking amazing, and won Rookie of the Year and helped take his team to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So it amazes me how many people jump on the overreactions for camp. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, have you heard any overreactions so far for camps?
Not really. I mean, a guy throwing interception. It's like, really?
But-
Although the one guy, it's not. I guess
Daniel Jones threw 2 interceptions the other day.
yeah.
It kills me. It's like we're really reporting on how many interceptions the guy throws in camp.
There was one that I did find funny. It wasn't an overreaction or anything, and I texted Frank as soon as I saw this. I guess they're trying out a kicker, and he missed 2 of them, just horribly bad, and ended up hitting a former coach with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if that's not Jacksonville Jaguar football, I don't know
Yeah.
what is. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, they need they need Urban Meyer to go back there and
guess.
smack around the kicker. I guess.
Lord, I was like,
So last year you got Urban Meyer smacking the kicker around and kicking him and shit, and then this year you got kickers who are literally kicking the ball at coaches.
well, I'm looking at this is like kind of what like beat reporters or whatever for teams kind of saw it today, and looking at the Cowboys are having a kicking competition, and in 3 days of kicking, both kickers are 17 for 27. That's not good.
That's awful.
That's not good.
That's fucking
It's
awful.
Liram Hallelujah. I can't even pronounce this dude's name.
Hallelujah.
No, it's like Hajrulahu. I'm gonna say Hallelujah because I'm not trying to pronounce that name.
Hallelujah.
And Jonathan Garibay. All right, but yeah, they're not very good. So they've been missing a lot of kicks. But 6 practices in the training camp, Lamar's only throwing 1 pick.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But I did hear that their first round pick, the safety from Notre Dame, hasn't looked great so far in camp.
So wait, who was that now?
I can't remember. I can't remember the dude's name off the top of my head. But the guy I believe they traded up to get from Notre Dame, that safety.
Okay.
I can't for the life of me.
Hamilton.
Yeah, I can't
Hamilton.
remember. Yeah, there you go. For the life of me, I couldn't remember the dude's name. But yeah, he has not looked great.
So here's a couple that. So they've confirmed that former Lions coach and longtime Patriots defensive coordinator Matt Patricia,
God.
now back as an offensive assistant, was in Mac Jones' headset as the team's primary play caller during offensive drills.
Okay,
I don't see that going well.
enjoy that.
I don't see that going well at all.
He's a rocket scientist, man. He knows what he's doing. He can do he can do anything.
Yeah. Let's see. So here's another one. Belichick was spotted with a heavier eye on the offensive side, of course, because you got Matt Patricia running it.
Yeah.
So basically, he's handing off the baton to Matt Patricia and former Giants coach Joe Judge.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the 2 assistants, basically, that are tasked with replacing Josh McDaniels.
I've seen a few from a few training camps some fights breaking out at a decent amount. I know the Steelers had a couple. I know the Bills had one.
So did your Bills.
I saw that.
So I do want to talk about that one too.
I do too.
So I want you to give me your aspect on it, but I got to say this first. It kills me how some players are just given the benefit of the doubt and not taken to task.
Mm-hmm.
When if Josh Allen, if what Josh Allen did was done by Kyler Murray, was done by Baker Mayfield,
Or Brady.
was done by not even Tom Brady. Tom Brady would have gone away with it. But like certain players would get away. Like nobody's coming down on Josh Allen for that. They're like, oh, he's fiery. That's great. Now, if that was Baker Mayfield, he's got to grow up. He's got maturity problems.
Right.
If that was Kyler Murray, he's got to grow up. He's got maturity problems. But if it's Tom Brady, it's like, oh, he's fiery. That's what happens. It's Josh Allen. He's fiery. That's what happens. He's leading his team. He's a leader. It just kills me how certain actions you can get away with depending on who you are.
Right.
And in my opinion, I'm one of the biggest Josh Allen backers there is. The guy's
I am as well. He's my quarterback.
Well, yeah, but even for the Bills not being my team, I love Josh Allen. He's an amazing player. I'm a huge fan of him.
Right.
You can't do that, man.
I agree with you.
You're putting yourself in harm's way. You need to be the leader of that team. There's a way to do things and there's a way not to do things, and that was not the way to do things.
I think it was more of a heat of the moment thing. I'm going to leave it at that. I wasn't thrilled with it. I honestly didn't think it needed to happen. I think it was more a heat of the moment thing. He addressed it. He goes, honestly, it's something that didn't need to happen. Like we're good. Whatever. It's what it is. It's
Right.
It's all water near a bridge somewhere. It's all good.
Which is fine.
Right.
He said the things you need to say.
Right. But again, I didn't agree with him doing it. I wasn't a fan of it.
Right.
But I do agree with you that certain players get away with it. Certain players don't.
Yep.
Now, I will give Josh Allen the benefit of the doubt because honestly, have you ever seen him do any shit like this?
Yeah.
Like that.
To
to his own teammates.
No, not to his own teammates.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking
But
about.
I've seen him do some immature shit on the field.
Fair.
In that Kansas City game
Right.
where he chucked the football at I forgot who it was on the Chiefs after he got tackled. He took and chucked the football at him and almost started a fight. It's like, man, you are the leader of a team. You can't do that. And those are the things that get certain quarterbacks called out for being immature and not having that leadership ability. You can't keep doing that, Josh, if you're going to be the leader of a Super Bowl contending team like the
Right.
Buffalo Bills.
I don't disagree with you. Speaking of the Bills, Jordan Poyer, injured his elbow. He's going to be out a couple weeks, which, again, it's preseason. I get it. I think it's more precautionary than anything, but it's not ideal, obviously.
No.
But it's what it is.
So I went, oh, hold on.
Hello, lady.
Hello, lady. It's
Whatever it
That's
is.
okay. It
Thank you.
is what it is. We just saw your arm in the shot, by the way. That was a wow.
Damn. She's feisty today.
The hell's wrong with you today? I take back my.
Hello, lady.
Shut up. I hate you.
There you go. Nice.
So here's one thing that kind of stands out to me. I'm looking at it, and we're definitely going to dive more into the analyzation of all this as training camp goes on and things like that. But
Yes.
like you look at the Bucs, man, they're still stacked.
Yeah.
Like they've got Tom Brady,
Yep.
they got Mike Evans,
Uh-huh.
Chris Godwin.
Yep.
He's recovering from an injury, but I think he's suspended for 2 games, right? I think, but I could be wrong. But then they got Leonard Fournette, Julio Jones.
Now is he
Russell Gage.
Is Leonard Fournette like
Well,
legit
I was
Leonard
going
Fournette, or is it
to
like
say they're saying he put on some weight,
Leonard
and
Fournette
they're not
like,
happy about
like
it.
buffet eater Leonard Fournette?
Apparently, he turned into Zion Williamson.
Jesus. Speaking of Zion, you see they put a weight clause in his contract,
Yep.
which
Yep.
that I actually agree with.
That
You're paying him that money.
So
That one I
that
actually agree
clause
with.
I agree with because that has to do with athletics and
Yeah.
things like that. But that has to do with I guess I agree with it, but I also don't. It's like if you're paying this guy that much money, why do you have to put a clause in there that he can't get fat?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
then don't pay him that money if you don't trust that he can't get fat. I mean, if you don't,
This is where NBA contracts is just way out of control.
like, if you can't trust that he's not going to be like me and go to Popeyes every day, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
would you hand me $230 million? No, because you know my ass going to go Popeyes all the time.
Right.
Right. So you can't trust a guy that you're giving hundreds of millions of dollars to play basketball to stay away from the buffets.
Yeah.
Like what?
I don't get it.
Wow.
Like I'm seeing the Patriots here. Apparently, the defense has had a bit more success through the first 6 practices of camp.
Yeah.
Not surprised about that. Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we just talked about, you got Matt Patricia running your offense, and you got arguably the best defensive mind ever running your defense.
It's weird how your defense looks better going against the Matt Patricia offense. I think Detroit experienced that kind of an offense for a few years.
Yeah.
Another thing out of Patriots camp is basically the MVP of camp so far is ex-Dolphins wide receiver Devontae Parker.
Really?
Apparently he's been wowing the crowd there and in camp, and everybody's been just super excited about what he's been doing there in camp. And he's a hell of a receiver. I actually think he's going to be great for Mac Jones this year.
Yeah.
And as it turns out, he's been the
Looks like Daniel Jones is having himself a camp so far, but he's got Brian Daboll.
Well,
dude knows what he's doing offensively.
right. But then again, you also hear he threw 2 interceptions in camp the other day, which again we'll go back to. It's just stupid if you report on how many. Like, come on, man. It's practice and camp. It's like we're talking about interceptions in camp.
Also, Jalen Hurts for Philly, looking pretty good in camp.
Yeah.
I'll say I said it earlier. I'll say it now, and I'll say it when we actually do our legit NFL preview. The Eagles are winning that division.
I'm leaning that way at this point because Jalen Hurts, by all accounts, has looked. And again, when you said it, I talked about it. I said if the Philadelphia Eagles are going to take that next step and win that division and take it over from Dallas, that means Jalen Hurts has to take that next step.
Which I think because he's got weapons now.
Which by all accounts, he is taking that next step.
He's got
He's got
Devontae Smith,
A.J. Brown,
Jalen Reagor, and Devontae Smith.
Yep.
I think it's hard.
I think A.J. Brown is going to do wonders for him.
I agree with you.
That
dude's a pro.
He's a pro. He's a monster of a receiver.
Yeah.
He's big. He's fast. He's physical. I think he's going to do wonders for him, and he's going to open up things on the other side for Devontae Smith as well.
I agree. It looks like Kyle Pitts is finally living up to his draft position. Granted, I think he's going to be traded at the deadline.
Well, listen. So Kyle Pitts, you look at it last year.
Yeah.
He didn't do bad last year.
No.
I mean, when you look at rookie tight ends, they don't necessarily come out as gangbusters, right? But his season last year, by all accounts, was a damn good season. It just wasn't full of touchdowns.
Right.
He still made a lot of good plays. He had a lot of reception. I mean, he still had a good season last year. He's a hell of a player.
And news out of Carolina, it looks like so far Baker is, I guess, in the lead to be a starter, which we kind of figured that
I
was
think
gonna
we
be a
all
thing.
kind of knew that was going to happen. I mean, listen, Baker is not Tom Brady. Baker is not Josh Allen. But Baker is better than Sam Darnold.
Yes.
I mean, that's just – and which is funny because everyone thought Sam Darnold should have been drafted where Baker Mayfield was drafted hilariously, but that's what was said. And yet now here we have it. And I think anybody who knows football knew that eventually Baker Mayfield was going to win that job. They could have said it was up for grabs. They're both available to win the position, but
Yeah.
I mean, Baker Mayfield may not be all world at this point, and he is what he is, but he's better than Sam Darnold.
Right. Now, some teams are looking to brighten up their quarterback position, right?
Yes.
Now, some people are looking to brighten up their homes, correct?
Correct.
If you are looking to brighten up your home or commercial building, give At Your Service by Pat a call today at 248-794-0008 for your free estimate. At Your Service by Pat specializes in home and commercial building cleaning. Services include roof and house cleaning featuring soft wash, which is a longer-lasting alternative to pressure washing, window cleaning, concrete cleaning, deck and fence restoration, gutter services, and more. So once again, give At Your Service by Pat a call today for your free estimate at 248-794-0008.
And I'm going to leave their advertisement up for a minute because I need to go get some shot glasses for our next segment.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we kind of need those. That's like the one thing we forgot. That's amazing. Usually we absolutely get those things, but whatever. We were kind of trying to figure some stuff out before the show, and I totally forgot to get them. What are you gonna do?
Whatever.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah.
And I'm sure At Your Service will not.
Oh no, I'm sure he'll dig that 100%. Yeah, those guys are good, man. They get the job done for sure. So definitely if you're looking to get any of that done, I would give them a call for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Pat himself is a wonderful guy.
Great dude. So yeah, like I said, if you're looking to do that, by all means, give him a call.
So are we ready for the taste test segment?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
All right, let's fire it up.
All right, motherfuckers, let's take a timeout and taste this.
So, I was in Toronto this past weekend.
Yep.
And we brought some beer back. And one of the beers I wanted was Puppers from the show Letterkenny.
Okay.
However, the guy must have misunderstood me, and he gave me Poppers.
Okay.
So, we're just like, okay, it is what it is. No big deal. So, what we are tasting today is Poppers Ice Rocket Blue Raspberry Cherry Citrus Malt Beverage.
Wow, that's a lot of words.
Yes. No idea how this tastes. Never had it. I wish we had remembered to bring the espresso ones.
The
that we had.
espresso ones? Yeah.
Because those are actually really good. Oh, good Lord.
Yes, my child?
This shit's blue.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. It's the blue raspberry.
Oh. All right.
Fuck you both.
Damn. Frank might actually like this one. Maybe, I don't know.
He might. I don't know. Well, I think maybe that should be one of our criteria that we look at on this one is would Frank like it?
I dig that. Yeah. We should. Yes. I like that. All right, you
Okay,
ready?
so far the smell is not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready?
All right, salute.
Cheers.
Okay. Flavor wise, it's a little weak,
Yep.
but still good. The flavors are good. They're just not pungent. They're not potent, right?
I think Frank would dig that.
I think you would too.
That's almost like that Fago that he brought a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he would absolutely dig this.
I think that would be a winner for Frank.
Yes. Not so much a winner. I could drink maybe one of them. I think it's
Yeah.
to me it's a little bit too sweet.
So I think after I would drink one of those, it would be too sweet.
Yeah.
Now the taste itself is not super strong, but it is
Yeah.
on the sweet side.
It is. So I say maybe
Oh.
one for me, and I'll give it a 3, I guess.
I'll give it a 3-3.
Okay.
I could drink one or two.
Right.
I couldn't drink a lot of those.
If I wanted to like switch from beer,
Honestly, I would enjoy one of those at the beach,
yeah,
sitting out on a patio, eating dinner.
yeah. I think if I wanted just to switch from beer, just something
Right,
else,
right.
to like I guess cleanse the palate or something like that,
Maybe even just to start the night off
or even start the night off
with
Yeah.
something sweet and just a little bit tastier than a regular beer or something like that. Yeah, I'd go 3-3, and it's
I think the females would dig it.
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that too.
yeah.
For me, it'd be a little too sweet. I think it would probably end up giving me indigestion.
Yeah, right.
Like it's just the two sugary sweet kind of
trying to
drinks
think of, like,
kind of
what-
do that for me.
I'm trying to think what you could mix that with.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe like a gin? No.
I mean, you could mix anything with vodka.
Well,
So vodka. For sure.
Honestly, I think yes. I think that would be delicious.
Maybe a little Tito's and that.
Speaking of that, I had a Manhattan in Toronto. It's honestly the best Manhattan I've ever had in my life.
Really?
It was fantastic. Because the guy made it right. He stirred it instead of shake.
Okay.
It was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So overall, I think this is a.
That is remarkably fucking yummy.
Yeah,
I'll have
well-
3 more.
We'll give it a thumbs up.
I don't know about the 3 more, but we'll definitely give it a thumbs up. It was pretty
We'll
good.
give it a thumbs up. Absolutely.
3-3 from me, 3 from you.
Yep.
I think Frank would probably give it around a 3.
I think
5.
Frank, I would say
Maybe-
Frank would give it close to 4.
Really?
I do.
Okay.
Like 3.8 maybe.
I'm anxious. We should have him the next show he's on. We should have him try it.
We should.
And have him tell us.
I got fucking 6 of them. So.
Oh yeah, you got. So whether you're having drinks with friends or just want something fun and different to listen to, take a Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Bald Man Entertainment. Time Out with Steven Scott is drinking, jokes, wrestling, movies, memories, and so much more. Every show, they taste and sample different drinks and foods, which is where we got our segment from. Like when they play Jelly Bean Roulette.
Pass.
Sometimes that goes very bad, which is really great for all of us, actually. So that's Time Out with Steven Scott, presented by Bald Man Entertainment. Look them up on YouTube or at timeoutpodcastwss.com. And be sure to follow them on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Nicely done.
Thank you, brother.
Especially for the first read of that. That was quite good.
Appreciate it. That's a hell of a compliment. Thank you, man. Make me feel good about myself.
So yes, like I said, I was in Toronto this past weekend. I just love that city. It's a lot of fun. It's such a diverse city, which I dig. You know, it's kind of like okay, went to a bunch of different bars. Went to the two of the Tigers Blue Jays games.
Right.
And they had the roof open at stadium, which was cool.
Nice. I do love Toronto. I gotta throw that in there. Toronto is one of the best cities I've ever been to. I think I'm actually allowed back in Canada now, which would be nice. I should look into going. Yeah. Right. But yeah, it's been many years since I've been there, but it was one of my favorite cities I've ever been to.
It was cool. We obviously went with the lady friend. She got to see the Stanley Cup up close and
nice.
Trying to see it like in person with the Hall of Fame, obviously.
Hello, lady.
Had some really good food. Honestly, we went to it was Saturday night. We went to this place called Hendrix, and she got a steak. And it was a big ass steak. So I'm like, well, I'm not gonna get a steak. That's just dumb because I'm gonna end up eating half yours. So I ended up getting like a pork chop.
Okay.
This pork chop was outstanding. Oh my god, it was really good. So I ended up obviously eating that, and then I ate the rest of her steaks. I was good to go.
You know what's funny is so you like pork chops, right?
I love pork chops.
I'm a huge pork chop fan.
Yeah.
One of my friends, Eric, who works with me, he's a huge pork chop fan. Like it's funny, you don't find too many people who are really into like pork chops. You know, like if you go out to a restaurant and order pork chop, not many people order pork chops.
If they're made properly, they're delicious.
Ding, 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 right there. Let me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing is if a lot of restaurants, pork is hard to cook, right? It's very easy to dry out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to give a free plug right now. I don't even give a shit. So Lucky's Prime Time, which is over in Rochester.
Okay.
They have pork chops there that it's hot, and their steaks are amazing. I love that. It's my favorite restaurant. But when I go to Lucky's, I have a hard time not ordering the pork chops because they're so fucking good.
See, and that was my issue. I was like, even though she got a steak, I still was like, I kind of want a steak.
It's difficult to not
like,
order a steak.
No, I'm gonna go with the pork chop, and I'm glad I did because it was juicy. It was moist.
It was moist.
It was succulent. It was an outstanding pork chop.
Yep.
And I'm glad I went with that instead of the steak. And granted, the steak was really good too.
Oh, we got a text here that says Lucky's Prime Time is amazing, which I agree with that. Obviously, whoever that is, I agree. Lucky's Prime Time is fucking awesome.
We got to look into that. I got to get there. I've never been there, so I'm always down for a good steak.
Yeah,
or apparently a good pork chop.
So Lucky's is. So even my daughter knows. Yeah, like if I say we're gonna go to a restaurant, she always says, "Are we going to Lucky's?" It's my favorite restaurant on the fucking planet at this point. They're a 5-star restaurant with like 3-star prices.
Really?
It's great. The amount of food you get for what you pay for there, and the quality of food you get and the way it's cooked, it's just awesome. It's Lady Friend. I didn't realize that was Allison. Mine doesn't show who's coming up on here on the screen. It was Lady Friend. But yeah, Lucky's is fucking all. Yeah, she says they have the best prime rib. Their prime rib is amazing.
You have the prime rib.
Every one of their steaks is
you have the
amazing.
best prime rib. I will say Lady Friend's prime rib is fantastic.
Well, I've never had Lady
really
Friend's prime rib, but I guess it's because she's never offered to make prime rib for me. So I guess I should be a little offended by that. I like prime rib. It'd be nice if I had some prime rib, but that's fine. I guess I'll never have some prime rib.
Oh shit. Anyways,
I got to taste her spaghetti the other day. All I get is spaghetti.
At least it had meatballs in it.
Apparently, it did have meatballs in it. Yeah. Yes, and it was a little spicy, which was good.
Yeah.
It was very good. But apparently, I'm not good enough for prime rib. I'm not prime rib company.
Fair.
I'm spaghetti company.
Yeah. Baby steps, man.
I got to work my way up on the chain, on the food chain.
Baby steps.
But yeah, giving a free plug here. But yeah, Lucky's Prime Time is fucking awesome. All their food is great. If you get a chance to go there, it's amazing.
Nice.
Oh, she says I'll make it for you. Oh, I've taken a step up on the ladder, or is it just because I call you out on the air? I'm kidding.
Hello, lady.
Oh man. Got anything else?
No. I think we're good for the day.
Yeah. I think
what are we at? We're at about an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah, man.
So,
well, we had a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah. Yep. And we got all our reads in.
Mm-hmm.
We had We added one last week. We added one this week, and we're looking into getting the call-in aspect fixed.
Yeah, we gotta get that back.
So we're looking into fixing that, getting the call-in aspect fixed, and we're doing some things. So we're gonna have some new things to reveal over the next little while. We're working on a handful of things, and we're hoping to have some of them, done and worked out.
Yeah. Ironed out here shortly.
Yeah. So stay tuned. We appreciate everybody for listening and watching, definitely. So that brings us to a close of this show. Give us a like and a share and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite, or as Frank likes to say, your least favorite podcast provider. Check out SOTDET.com. You can find blogs, and we're going to have some fantasy football stuff on there.
A lot coming up soon.
We did remove some pictures off of there, so you won't see stuff we're getting sued for. Again, check out our shop there. You can shop for stuff. SOTDET.com. On behalf of Chris and Frank, who's not here, I am Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no.
Bye, buddy.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I have ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.